Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to race 6 of the 2005 season. We are here at Texas Motor Speedway. We're at this 1.5 mile speedway track, I guess. We got 85 laps here today. It's going to be another long race. It's kind of the same length as Atlanta. Um, we are 1 week removed from Bristol. The drivers had a stern talking to. Um, they've got a lot of talking to. There's not going to be as aggressive this week, and hopefully the weeks to come. If you didn't see Bristol, I don't blame you. It was a disaster. I'm not sure how many yellows exactly there were, but there were a lot. But that was last week. That's behind us. Let's go into this week. Where this is the last chance qualifier. The 4, the 92, the 43, and the 23 failed to qualify for Texas. Joni Nemechek, Dave Blaney, and others were able to qualify in. This was the weekend recap. I believe that was Reed Sorensen, I believe, in the two in the top left. I believe they were at Bowman Gray this week for the Derby. Reed Sorensen was able to win. And in the top right, kind of cut off there, but the truck race was won by, you guessed it, John Wood has gone 5 for 5 in 2005 in the 50, just barely over his teammate. He was able to win in Texas. And then yesterday, Ron Hornaday dominated Texas. I mean, that two car was hooked up. It was so fast. They were able to get through traffic. Yeah, that two car was really, really quick. But yeah, so we should have a good one here for you today. Let's head out trackside and we'll go over ones to watch.
Drivers, to your cars.
There's the drivers being called to their cars. We'll kind of start from the back here. Let's talk about some certain things. Um, Back here, we got Elliott Sadler, Joe Nemechek. So the 38, the 99, the 6, and the 20 all were caught with aero infractions. They had post practice before qualifying, so they had to fix it. Their times were disallowed. They will be starting from the rear. The 44 lost an engine this weekend. He will be starting from the rear because of his engine loss. The 99 and the 20 had major infractions, so they will have to serve a black flag before the race starts. And some a lot of strong drivers, some names back here. Casey Atwood, Rusty Wallace, Kevin Harvick, Coy Gibbs, um, a lot of fast cars back here that you wouldn't normally see. But and then some rumors and speculation going on. But Kevin Harvick, I guess in Bristol, there's that 29 car. I guess in Bristol, RCR, there was a rumor going around that RCR had offered Kevin Harvick a contract extension, and Harvick declined it. Now, whether Harvick came out and said that, yeah, he wants to focus on this season, wants to focus on getting the program better. They don't want to be where they are. They want to continue improving. He doesn't want to worry about the contract. He doesn't want to worry about that kind of stuff. But as of right now, there is no driver for that 29 card. But a couple of drivers who did get extended was the 24 on the outside pole there, and Jimmy Johnson lined up seventh. Those guys were able to get extended multi-year deals. So that's 300 cars that are locked up, and the one Hendrick car is not locked up, and that is Casey Kane, likely to get a contract extension starting 10th today. Remember, he finished second in Atlanta. But yeah, well, let's get the command to fire engines, and we'll get this long race started here for you guys. Really quick here before we get the command to fire engines, we'll talk about my favorites. Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth. I think Gordon's going to be fast. We'll talk about that more. We'll get the starting lineup. But first, your command to fire engines.
Drivers, start your engines! Is that okay?
Going to be honest, a little bit out of character. I have never heard that before. That's wild. Because we got Mike Skinner stopped on pit road. He's not rolling well. But anyways, starting on pole, we got Joe Gibbs driver Bobby Labonte to his outside. Just got a contract extension, Jeff Gordon. Then we got last year's champion Brian Vickers to his outside, Matt Kenseth. Starting sixth, Casey Mears. Fifth is Jimmy Johnson. Greg Biffle, Kurt Busch, couple of Roush teammates. Starting 10th, Casey Kane to his inside, Ryan Newman. Then we got Michael Waltrip, Brian Newman's teammate, Robbie Gordon. Then we got Ward Burton there, Dell Jr., rookie Carl Edwards to his inside, John Andretti, Ricky Craven, Sterling Marlin. We'll kind of get through here, pick out where your favorite driver, maybe your favorite paint scheme, maybe your favorite number. See where they will be starting today. All the way back here. And Mike Skinner was pushed back to pit road. Not sure what's going on there. So we'll go ahead and get these black flags out. I believe it was, I know for sure it was the 20. I think it was the 6 as well. Uh, no, it was the 99. I apologize. As the pace car's on pit road, we'll get those black flags out. And the flagman's got the green flag in hand, and we are underway from Texas. As Ryan Newman did not get a good start, the whole inside line is checked up down there. That 12 car is struggling. He's reporting it's like down a cylinder. It did not accelerate. That's going to kill the entire inside line. Bobby Labonte is going to hold off Vickers. Bobby Labonte is pulling away, but meanwhile, we got nearly 4 wide action back here as these guys are all checked up. I wonder if he'll serve it this time by. If not, we may need to black flag him again. Hopefully they serve it. But yeah, Ryan Newman's got a problem. We'll talk more about this race. Looks like they're pitting now. We'll get the leaderboard and everything up. But as you look at this 3 wide action here, you do not want to be in that top lane. There's almost zero grip up there. The middle lane or the low lane is going to be where you want to be, but Chip Ganassi Racing is dropping backwards. Sterling Marlin, he had a great start to the season. A lot of mechanical failures, a lot of issues. But, yeah, meanwhile, back up front here, 3 laps in, Bobby Labonte will be your leader, followed by Jimmy Johnson, his teammate Brian Vickers, Kurt Busch there, and Casey Kane has clawed his way up to 5th. These guys are ripping around here. Ward Burton's having himself a great season in the 31. Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth. Jeff Gorman started outside front row, and he's dropping anchor. Not sure if he just got stuck up there. Maybe he's struggling with the balance a little bit. That 12 car has definitely got some engine issues. They're going to have to... It's going to be a long day. We got coming to 80 laps to go this time by. It's going to be a long one for that group. The 20 and the 99 are also going to be battling for the lucky dog position. Casey Kane's going after Kurt Busch. Ricky Craven just got top 10 from Michael Waltrip. We got Greg Biffle trying to get around Mayfield and Quapple. Meanwhile, back up front, Johnson has closed in on Labonte. He's going to look to the inside of that Joe Gibbs racing car. So they're going to be side by side here. Looks like Labonte's going to lead the first 5. The 6th is going to go to Johnson. Now you can kind of hang up top. There you can carry momentum up there, but the inside line is going to be the preferred lane here today. I'm not sure if the track's going to progress, going through any changes. The weather, 69 degrees, 7 to 10 mile an hour winds. So we'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the day. Jimmy Johnson's doing a great job trying to hold back Bobby Labonte. So far, the fastest lap of the day is going to go to Brian Vickers up to 3rd. The top 5 are slinking back up together. Yeah, Brian Vickers is kind of coming to his own here on 1.5 miles. Been doing a great job. A lot of people thought that Roush was going to be a super team and like they were going to go out here and dominate kind of like they did last year. And I mean, that is the case kind of in the lower series, but in the Cup series, I mean, Chevrolet is doing very, very well. Now Matt Kenseth's up to 6th. Carl Edwards is going for 7th on Burton. You'll kind of see here, there is some grip in that middle lane, but it looks like that 31 car is beginning to fall off. just 9 laps in. As there goes Casey Kane's going to dive to the inside of Kurt Busch looking for 4th. I don't know if Vickers didn't have a great lap, but at 5 car, they are prioritizing that long run. This time by will be 75 laps to go. I'm not sure what fuel window is going to look like. We'll have to see. Casey's cleared up to 4th now. It's going to put Chevrolet in the top 4. And one guy these guys are going to have to watch out for is going to be Ryan Newman. 31 twos. They are a couple seconds quicker. So we'll kind of briefly go through this field, see where your favorite driver may be running. Kevin Harvick, man, tough day for that 29 bunch. Dale Jr. back here struggling. Mark Martin, what is he doing back here in this hornet's nest? Casey Atwood talked about him not having a good starting spot. We got some side-by-side action right here. For 10th, Quapple and Mayfield. As now Vickers is trying to get around Bobby Labonte. He's going to look to the inside. Labonte's going to respect him and give him the room. But he's going to dive it in deep. Vickers almost gets to his rear bumper. Last week, Vickers, when he won that race, as Casey Kane's going to size him up here, he's going to have a good run going down into the corner. As I was saying, I mean, last week was a mess. It was borderline disaster. There was a lot of wrecks, a lot of cautions, little to no respect on the track. But Vickers, I mean, he easily could have went in there and shipped his teammate for the win. Talking about Jeff Gordon. But he just kind of went in there and was like, yeah, well, I know I have the faster car and I'm okay with finishing second. I'm not going to just wreck my teammate for the win. He did a great job. Showed a lot of maturity out of this 25 car. But hey, he sits 3rd now. He's going to take another charge there at Bobby Labonte. As we look at the standings here, Vickers sits 2nd in the points, only behind Jeff Burton. And Jeff Burton's got to get around Tony Stewart if a yellow comes out to get in that free pass spot. Is Ryan Newman is on pit road. It looks like he has a left front tire down. That 12 car is just a mess this week as we got 70 to go now. Johnson back at the line with 70 to go. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson had a rough week last week. He was ping-ponging around everybody. Just a tough week. Rear end was shortened up majorly. There was damage on all sides of the car. Wrecked multiple times. Well, right here, this is where you just kind of, reset. At high speeds, you're probably not going to see anybody intentionally wrecking nobody. Vickers gets in, and that's close racing right there with Labonte, but Labonte's able just to kind of hold his own. Something tells me if Vickers wants to run Labonte, they're going to need to do it on some pit strategy. Ryan Newman is back out and away. He's now going to lose 2-3 laps. But now he's cycled back in front of Jimmy Johnson, and he might play a factor into the leaders as he's there going off into turn 3, and these guys are going down the back. As now Casey Kane looking to the inside of his teammate Brian Vickers. Drawn even with him out of 4. How aggressive do you get right here? Right, this race is kind of shaping up like it may be a little bit difficult to pass. Vickers is able to defend for now. This side-by-side action is only going to allow Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth in. I felt like the outside down here in 3 and 4 was more stronger than in 1 and 2. Now Matt Kenseth has caught Kurt Busch all over the back end, and these guys are just trying to inch back in on each other. Looks like we're gonna have a five-car battle for second. There's Newman coming out of the corner. Just ran his fastest lap of the day off of 2. Now here comes Johnson. Johnson's still 2/10 quicker on like 20 lap old tires compared to Newman. As there goes Kane's gonna dive to the bottom. Can he complete the pass this time by? Vickers is just really strong up top. Kane's unable to complete the pass, unable to complete the corner. Kurt Busch is thinking high. Matt Kenseth says, "You're gonna go high, I'm gonna go low." Kurt Busch drives it in deep, is able to defend for now. Now, there's a problem here with Jeff Burton. He said, something's wrong with the engine. I don't like it. He's going to pull into the pit. Tough day for the points leader. It's gone bad to worse for that 99 bunch. Ooh, Casey Kane had a check up there. I'm not sure what happened. Try to give his teammate room. There goes Kurt Busch. Going to look to the inside. Kane's able to defend for now. Now Matt Kenseth right there. Busch had a check up for Kane. That's going to allow Matt Kenseth with a major run. Kane's got a big run on Vickers. He's going to look to the inside once again. Kenseth to the inside of Busch behind him. Matt Kenseth draws even with Busch. Kane was unable to get the pass there on Vickers. How aggressive does Kenseth throw it into one to complete the pass? It's like Kurt Busch will just kind of let Kenseth have it. Here comes Kane's going to have a really big run there on Vickers. How aggressive does Kane get right here? Trying to get around his teammate. We saw Bobby Labonte able to defend for now. As there goes Kenseth. Trying to defend from Kurt Busch. Almost put him in prime position to get around Kane. Is that outside line? Inside the lane through the trial. Will shorter way around. It's better. As now Busch draws even with Kenseth, but Kenseth, I think that second lane for the Cup cars is a little bit better. As I say that, Kenseth almost loses ground to Kurt Busch. Kenseth clears him back. The top 6 or so are starting to separate themselves. We got a decent battle right here. Jeff Burton a couple laps down. 3 laps down to be exact. That's going to get to the inside of Ward Burton, which will separate that battle. Greg Biffle sitting 10th. We got this gaggle of cars right here. 5 under a blanket. Mark Martin's worked his way back up. There goes Jeff Green looking to the inside of Mark. And we got this another group of cars. Kevin Harvick starting to march his way forward. This is one of the races. It's longer, right? If you have a bad start, you can kind of claw and work your way up through the field. You just gotta work at it. If your car is faster naturally, you're gonna work your way up to the front. Now we got 3 cars under a blanket here for third. Kenseth has caught Casey Kane. Right, I mean, we're on lap 28. If you're Casey Kane, do you let Matt Kenseth go? Right, let him go. Maybe Kenseth can find a way around Vickers and you can follow him through. And then maybe Kenseth can get around Bobby Labonte. Or do you think Matt Kenseth, if he can get around you 3, are you going to be able to, hang on to his coattails as he catches up to Jimmy Johnson? And then are you confident that he's able to you're able to pass Kenseth once again? As Vickers is sizing up a move on Labonte again. Nothing to show for now. Coming to the completion of lap 29. This has all happened about 2 seconds behind Jimmy Johnson. As now Newman is running quicker than Jimmy Johnson now. 31.0 to a 39. As now Jeff Burton is now past Kurt Busch. fresh tires are definitely making a difference. As he's gonna look to the inside. Vickers is looking to the inside of Bobby Labonte. Casey Kane's trying to follow him through. Here comes Burton to the inside of Kenseth. He's going to complete that pass. Vickers is able to sneak around Bobby Labonte. Johnson's in pit road. Lap 30. And that will be a bonus point for the 25. Casey Kane's now through on Bobby Labonte. Jeff Burton's going to look to the inside. And can Burton give an avenue for Matt Kenseth? Does Burton make a move here? Does Kane pit? Ooh, Bobby Labonte and Matt Kenseth. That's tight right there. I think Labonte wants to pit, but Matt Kenseth was making a move to the inside. And now they're going to stay out. Yeah, about 30, then 60. That should be able to take you to the end. Should be a two-stopper here today. I think Jeff Burton's a little scared right there to try and pass Casey Kane in case he dives to the inside, in case he wants to pit. As now Vickers and Casey Kane are both going to pit. Carl Edwards a ways back. He's not going to pit. Jimmy Johnson, he's back out on track, and he's actually cycled in front of Mark Martin there. But Mark Martin's going to pit. Jeff Green's going to stay out. He's going to try and lead a lap. So will... I don't know if I like Kevin Harvick. You know, like these guys are 2.5 seconds of fall off. That's a lot of time you're kind of wasting right here. We've had 4 cars stay out so far. And then with the 12 and the 20 and the 99, these guys are going to be staying out and hoping for something. Here comes the 0, here comes the 29. Meanwhile, Bobby Labonte's in front of Kenseth. We'll have to see how everybody else cycles. There's Vickers down there. Casey Kane, bad stop for Brian Vickers. Here comes Kane. Can he blend in front of Kenseth and Bobby Labonte? He cannot. And Johnson is driving away. Yeah, very bad stop for Brian Vickers. I'm not sure what happened there. But meanwhile, back out front, Tony Stewart's on pit road now. And Jeff Green was unable to even lead a lap because now Jimmy Johnson's back up to the front. Now Matt Kenseth is sizing up Labonte. He's going to make a dive to the inside here. Running fourth is still Casey Kane. Labonte's clear of Kenseth. Kurt Busch is running 5th. 6th is Jeff Gordon. 7th, Warren Burton. 8th is Vickers. 9th, 10th, and 11th are right here. Quapple's having himself a great day. RCR as a whole, other than Kevin Harvick, they're having a great day. The 25 is reporting a problem here. I'm not sure if he'll pit this time. He's going to stay out on track. He said he smells oil of some variety. They're not sure if it's coming off the 31. We got a battle tightening up here. 5 seconds behind Jimmy Johnson. Dale Jr. is now down a lap. He's having himself a tough day. Kenseth just can't find his way around. But now Jimmy Johnson is catching lap traffic. Well, not catching, but he has caught lap traffic. Now John Andretti getting lapped by 2nd and 3rd. Yeah, Brian Vickers has pitted. They're not sure what's going on with that car. But certainly they're not happy about it. And Kevin Harvick sitting 22nd. Tough day continues for that bunch. Yeah, Vickers is on pit road. They're going to change the tires. They're going to take their time, make sure they do everything right. And now the top 2 in points are having a pretty bad day down here in Texas, which will now Third in points is Jimmy Johnson, and fourth in points is Bobby Labonte. And I mean, just look at this mess Johnson's about to go into as we'll approach halfway here. There's Vickers down there on the apron, merging. Let's go on board Jimmy Johnson as he tries to navigate all this. Stuck in a traffic jam. But right here, this is where you just kind of follow Jamie McMurray, kind of help him through, and just kind of pick your way through. And honestly, like he's not losing that much time to the 18 and the 17. These guys are kind of battling their own race, and they're kind of slowing each other down in their progress to catch Jimmy Johnson. Now Mark Martin's trying to get around Casey Mears here. There's Mayfield and Coy Gibbs. We'll jump back up here. Jimmy Johnson's able to clear everybody except for McMurray. He's lapped all the way up to 28th right now. Kind of like Ron Hornaday in the Busch Series yesterday. Just pure, utter dominance. This time by will be halfway. Halfway-ish. About 15 to 20 laps away from the second and last pit stop, most likely of the day. Whoa, look out. Ricky Rudd, Dave Blaney nearly came together. And then we got Brian Vickers on fresh tires. He's the only car 2 laps down. But he's going to have to navigate this traffic the same way his teammate just did. He's trying to hold off Jason Leffler right here. I believe that's Martin Truex Jr., Ricky Craven, Jamie McMurray right in front of Johnson. McMurray's going to hang a left there on Truex. It's like Jimmy's just going to follow him right through. And McMurray's just kind of unable to finish the corner down there. Kind of check him up. Leffler's going to get a run. He's going to want to get his lap back. This time by will be the completion of lap 45, coming to 40 to go. This next time by is Johnson's now going to make a move to the inside of McMurray, and he's going to get held up by Ryan Newman, who's still down a cylinder, just trying to survive. And now he's going to go down 2 laps. Just no acceleration out of the corner there for the 12. That's his biggest issue. I see the 48 just able just to roll the bottom, roll the middle, and just roll the exit. As you see, just huge gains on Ricky Craven there. As now these guys are going to be approaching this lap traffic. As now Kurt Busch has actually caught Casey Kane. They're going to be side by side. Kane got tight, had to lift. That's going to give Kurt Busch the spot. Now you got Ward Burton, Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, Travis Kvapil trying to join the mix. Teammates trying to work together on the inside. Now Kvapil's trying to pass his teammate on the inside. And Matt Kenseth is still trying to work over Bobby Labonte, trying to get around him. Labonte's doing a great job. Labonte's had a great season. They've executed well. They've done great. Now right here with the 12, it's going to be interesting. Labonte's trying to defend from Kenseth, and I mean, look out, Labonte got high. He's up top. Kenseth, he's able to tuck in for now. They're going to roll the top around the 12. The 12 is pitting, that's why. I thought, because you kind of see where the rubber is laid down. And you can't get too high or the car loses a significant amount of grip. There goes Matt Kenseth's going to make a move to the inside of Labonte. Can he complete the pass this time by? He's at the bumper. He's clear, but Labonte's going to get a run around the outside. He's clear. He's past Labonte. But now he's got about a dozen lap cars or so between him and the lead. All these cars. Johnson's now clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 cars separate Matt Kenseth and his lead. And Matt Kenseth, I think just straight up on just raw speed, I think he's one of the fastest cars. But they just have not been able to execute, been plagued with just issues and just not being able to execute. As we're about 10 laps away or so from having to do the next pit stop, as Casey Kane and Kurt Busch are still going at it. This battle seems to kind of settle down a little. Casey Atwood and Dale Jarrett going at it. Kevin Harvick's top 20. And all the way up to 26th right there is one lap down. We'll have to see Matt Kenseth if his quest, if he can track down Jimmy Johnson. Remember, Jimmy Johnson was one of the first cars on pit road. Which, yeah, I mean, the fall-off's around 2 seconds-ish. 2.5. If you can be that first car on pit road, it's a huge advantage. But if a yellow comes out, you're dead in the water. And he's about 2/10 quicker than these guys. Look out. Now, Greg Biffle trying to get around Carl Edwards here. Again, I think if you're going to pass somebody, I think it's going to have to be with fuel pit strategy. Getting fresh tires and getting around somebody. Can he clear Carl here? They're going to be side by side. Carl's going to get a run. They're going to be even down the back. Does Ward Burton get a run? Does he go anywhere? Bobby Labonte's still holding down third. Kenseth is losing time to Jimmy Johnson. Johnson's just out here in clean air. Well, not anymore. Now he's going to get to the inside of Schrader, get to the inside of Wallace. As Jeff Burton down there is pitting, they're going to be 3 wide on the exit. Burton gives plenty of room. Johnson did not get a clean exit. 30 laps to go. I believe if you pit this from here on out, you should be able to make it to the end. Yeah, right there. Matt Kenseth's able to get it under 5 seconds. So he's going to be looking to the inside of the Coors Light and the Bud machine there. He's got to around Junior. Can he get around Marlin? Not quite. We got Busch Series regular, Scott Riggs. Racing for that Chip Ganassi entry down there in the Busch Series. Trying to develop that organization. They're going to be 3 wide here. As you see Dave Blaney, there's just going to be no grip up top. But Marlin's able to get a good run. He gets tight, has to lift. Kenseth is clear of both of them. And now Bobby Labonte's going to have to get through this mess. Meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson gets rid of Kenny Wallace. He's got Ken Schrader next. Yeah, if you're Matt Kenseth, if you're in this major lap traffic, just major traffic in general, I think right here you pit. Hopefully, when you come out of the pits, you're not in traffic. You're able to make up time on Johnson on fresh tires, and hopefully you have enough tire at the end to hold him off. I mean, same thing could be said for Labonte, Kurt Busch, or Casey Kane because they are catching Labonte. There goes Johnson. Gonna dive to the inside of Schrader. Next up on Johnson's list, if he can get around Schrader, will be Bill Elliott. This time by will be 26 laps to go. And Bill Elliott said he's out of gas. Something's wrong with the car. The car's shut off. He's able to get to pit road. Man, I'm a curse. I gotta stop talking about Bill Elliott. Every time I talk about Bill Elliott, something happens to him. Bill Elliott might be one of the most cursed people in sim. As soon as I mention him, something bad happens. Right there, Kenseth's got to beat Junior to the inside, or something bad's going to happen to Kenseth. There goes Junior. He's up to 30th. Tough day for that 8 car. And Johnson, I believe, will extend his lead this lap. He will, half a second. 25 to go. Next up will be Rusty Wallace, then Michael Waltrip, Robbie Gordon. Kenseth's trying to ground Scott Riggs here. Not doing Kenseth any favors. We got a heck of a battle for second right here. Johnson's going to stay out for now. Kenseth is clear lap traffic there. He's got some more ground to make up. But right here, Kurt Busch, Bobby Labonte, Casey Kane within all that lap traffic. Joe Nemechek's right up their tails. Dave Blaney and then Ricky Rudd and Sterling Marlin right ahead. Like Jimmy Johnson's pitting this time. I do believe. Yep, Johnson's coming this time by. Does Kenseth stay out and get a lap lead? He does. Nobody else in the top 5 will pit. Gordon in 6th. He's going to stay out. Biffle. Mark Martin has climbed himself up to 9th. Ward Burton slipped outside the top 10. Meanwhile, look at this traffic jam. Kurt Busch is up to 2nd. Casey Kane's got to run. Kurt Busch is stuck behind Ricky Rudd. Kane's got to get a run. Who's going to pit this time? Look out. Looks like Bobby Labonte's going to pit. Is Matt Kenseth going to pit? He does. They're going to be side by side for the bonus point. Give it to Kane. Whoa, look out, Ricky Rudd. And now you got Jeff Burton all over the back end of Casey Kane. Kurt Busch up top. He's got to get down if he wants to pit. Carl Edwards is up to 3rd currently. Again, Jeff Burton right here. I'm sure he would love to get around Casey Kane, but I don't know if he can. As Kurt Busch is going to pit. As Brian Vickers has an issue. I'm not sure where he's at. Bad day gone worse for 2nd in the points. This was lap 63. Yeah, the engine expired going off into turn 3 a couple laps ago. There's Jimmy Johnson actively being held up by 2nd place, Carl Edwards. That's going to be really huge for Matt Kenseth and others if they can get around. Now, all these guys are staying out. Matt Kenseth is back on track. Carl Edwards is pitting this time. As Johnson will resume the lead. 21 laps to go for Johnson. Now there goes Kurt Busch coming back on track. But he's going to cycle behind Matt Kenseth. He's going to be most likely 3rd. Bobby Labonte might get 3rd here, actually. He will. 4th will probably go to Kurt Busch. Kevin Harvick's still out there on track. So is Jeff Green. Looks like they're going to pit this time by. I'm not sure. Casey Kane's still out on track. Has not pitted yet. Yeah, Matt Kenseth is going to have a lot of catching up to do here. NASCAR said track is clear, track is clean. No oil on the track from the 25 engine failure. As Jimmy Johnson's going to jump up to the lead here. Way ahead of Casey Kane. Casey Kane lost a ton of time within that exchange. Labonte's up to third now. We'll have to wait for a big cycle. Yeah, Matt Kenseth, over 5 seconds he's got to catch up to Jimmy Johnson. He's lapped all the way up. This is 17th, going one lap down. All right, 20th, excuse me, because there was people pitting and whatnot. And there goes Jeff Green. He's probably going to lose a lap. Kevin Harvick, he may lose a lap here if he's not too careful getting up to speed. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 cars separate, maybe 6 here if Leffler can stay in front of Matt Kenseth. But yeah, only 2 cars are within 10 seconds of the leader. Yeah, this time by will be 16 laps to go for Jimmy Johnson, just putting on an absolute clinic here in Texas. Now Jeff Green's going to have fresh tires. He's going to get around. Rusty Walls looks like he's going to get around the Blue Deuce. I'm sure that's weird for some people. Rusty Walls passing the 2. 16 laps to go, this time by 4.3 seconds. There's Tony Stewart running 38th. He had a tough time here. He got caught cheating, had to serve a black flag. Just unable to have any kind of track position, and when just the 48 car has just hit it today. Looks like Jeff Gordon has cycled to 5th, Casey Kane to 6th, Greg Biffle 7th, Coy Gibbs 8th, Mark Martin 9th, and Carl Edwards 10th. But I gotta step away for a minute. I'll be right back. See if we can find a battle here. We'll watch this gaggle of cars, maybe. Yeah, I'll watch Coy Gibbs and Mark Martin. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. Looks like Mark Martin did get around Coy Gibbs. Kansas only closed about 2/10. There's Jeff Gordon looking for 4th, trying to track down the 97. Bobby Labonte still holding 3rd. What a great car. I think it's fair to say he's probably got the 3rd best car. Man, poor Bill Elliott. I'm so sorry. He's pretty much full lap behind Tony Stewart, and he's going to lose yet another lap here. It's going to put him 3 laps down. Last car in the race. The 0-1 didn't even get to complete a single lap here today. This time by will be 10 laps to go for Jimmy Johnson. Oh, looks like we had the 41 car blow up. I'm not sure what lap that was. Checking for oil. Looks like he blew up in 3 and 4. Nascar says keep it green. Time by will be just 9 laps to go for Jimmy Johnson. There's Dale Jarrett sitting 17th, the last car in the lead lap, if you can believe it. There's third, Bobby Labonte. As now Jeff Gordon did get around Kurt Busch for 4th. There's 6th. Look out. I mean, Mark Martin is on a tear right here. He's going to be looking for 6th there on Casey Kane. Craig Biffle's running 8th. Coy Gibbs 9th. Carl Edwards 10th. There's 11th, Ward Burton. So yeah, there is a possibility. I think Bill Elliott could get 38th here. But he's really going to have to hustle. And he's going to have to follow Jimmy Johnson. There's Newman there, 31.5. Yeah, he's over a second quicker. Maybe like 9/10 that lap. But he's got a lot of catching to do, and there's only a handful of laps left. Now for turn 4, it's be 6 laps to go. Yeah, I don't know if Matt Kenseth has the car to necessarily catch. Now Jeff Burton's going to be holding these guys up here. Is this for a spot here? It is. Can Tony Stewart get an extra point here if he can get around the 99? That'll essentially take a point away from the 99. Those guys have been racing around each other all race long. So now there goes Dale Jarrett to the inside. And Tony Stewart does complete the pass. The 12 is now down pit road. That will give the spot to Bill Elliott, I'm pretty sure. And it does. Now looks like Jeff Burton's going to lose 2 laps here. Next time by will be just 3 laps to go. Looks like we got some battling going on back here. Not these guys, but Kenseth's trying to get around. It's like Kurt Busch is not going away soundly. And Mark Martin's giving Casey Kane a run for 6th. He's going to look to the inside there. Can Casey Kane defend? Is there any turn in that right front? Does not look like it. And if he messes around too much, there's 3 lap cars in between them, but he may lose a spot to Biffle. Jeff Gordon trying to hold off Kurt Busch. Yeah, Johnson does not need to force this right here. 2 laps to go. Does not need to get around Jeff Burton. It looks like he might. Burton looks tight right there. See the flames coming out of the pipes. Kevin Harvick is quicker. He's closing in on Casey Atwood. Might be able to get 15th there. He's coming out of turn 4. Jimmy Johnson, absolute dominant performance. See the white flag there. Down through 1 and 2, one final time. Off of turn 2. Does not need to pass Dale Jarrett. Down the back. Into 3, one final time. Jimmy Johnson. All he's got to do is accelerate off the corner. He does just that. Jimmy Johnson is going to win at Texas. So we'll see everybody else here across the line. Matt Kenseth there in 2nd. There's Bobby Labonte coming up in that green car. Jeff Gordon there. Kurt Busch. Mark Martin held off Kane. There's Biffle. There's Carl Edwards in front of Coy Gibbs. There's Quapple, Burton. There's, I believe that was Mayfield. Kevin Harvick was unable to get, I believe that was Casey Atwood, but congratulations, Jimmy Johnson, on just an absolute dominant performance. Here's your official results here. We'll take a scroll, see where your favorite driver may have finished. Tough days for Tony Stewart, Jeff Burton, Ryan Newman, Bill Elliott. I feel so bad. I gotta stop talking about him. Casey Mears, Brian Vickers, Hoofta. Dale Jr. recovered 25th there. Michael Waltrip top 20. Kevin Harvick recovered at 16th. Good days though for Ward Burton, Travis Quapple, Coy Gibbs top 10, Carl Edwards top 10, Casey Kane up there, Mark Martin, good to see him up there, Jeff Gordon, a nice steady day, Bobby Labonte, good steady day. I'll get the thumbnail, I'll get the points updated, and we'll see you with the points. Alrighty, this is the updated points post Texas race 6. Jimmy Johnson jumps up 2 spots as well as Bobby Labonte. They take up the 2 top spots. Johnson leads with 215 points, 2 wins, 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s. The most top 10s in the series. 92 laps led. Bobby Labonte has 2 poles, 17 laps led, 4 top 10s, and 3 top 5s. He is 10 points back. Jeff Burton is 14 back. Casey Kane 23 back. Jeff Gordon 24 back. Fun fact: Hendrick Motorsports has won the last 4 races, excuse me. Yeah, with Jimmy Johnson winning Atlanta, Vickers, Bristol, and then Jimmy Johnson, Texas, and I believe Vickers won Vegas, maybe? I do know it was the last 4 races. Ward Burton, Mayfield picked up 3 spots. Casey Mears dropping 8 is kind of wild. Newman dropping 6 is crazy. Vickers dropping 4 is crazy. Shane McMurray dropping 4, he's having a rough season. The last guy with all 6 starts looks like Sterling Marlin. Again, tons of speed, only 1 top 10 to show for it. Jack Sprague, Jeff Green, Andretti, Ricky Rudd. The best guy, but not all the starts, is Joni McCheck, Ricky Craven, Rusty Wallace is up there, Ken Schrader. But yeah, those are the updated points, and then I kind of wanted to skip to this. I got just the race playing slow motion in the background. But this is the 26th through 40th. Now the top 35 in points are locked in. That is the 40 car over the 1, over the 91, 49, 44, 39. So if those cars want to show up and race, they have to be inside that top 35. I believe the 1 is going to be full time, so they're going to have to race their way in. Not only 1 point behind the 40, but the 10 is 0. Those guys are in the top 35, which is good. But you don't want to get too close to it. But yeah, so that's basically that. I think that's all I got. All we got from Texas. I believe next week is Auto Club. Fun fact: last year the I lost the video somehow. Yeah, I'm excited. Auto Club's always exciting, and then I think Talladega's next, maybe something like that, somewhere around in there. We're coming in on the All-Star race. Yeah, coming up to another free agency period here soon. Prospects should be coming out soon. There's a lot of stuff coming along, but yeah, try and pump these videos out as much as I can. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. You guys have a great day, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.